A bone-chilling wind howls in the darkness. Welcome, dear listeners, to a journey into the unknown. We are about to embark on a voyage into the eerie depths of reality where the mundane meets the macabre. Picture this. You're a food delivery driver, navigating the shadowy labyrinth of city streets under a moonless sky. The only sounds are the hum of your engine and the occasional rustling of leaves. But what happens when that routine delivery turns into a spine-tingling encounter? We will be sharing 4 true stories, each one a chilling testament to the unexpected horrors that can lurk around the corner of any ordinary night. These are tales of late-night orders that went horribly wrong, of unexpected guests with malicious intent, of addresses that led to places no one should ever have to go, and of final deliveries that were anything but routine. These tales may unsettle you, they may even terrify you, but they will most certainly captivate you. So sit back, steady your nerves, and delve with us into the chilling world of food delivery horror stories. Prepare yourselves, for these are not just stories. They are the nightmares of those who experienced them. Imagine the hunger pangs at midnight, the only remedy, a late-night food delivery. But what happens when the delivery is not what you expected? It was a cold moonlit night. The wind howled eerily outside, and the only beacon of warmth was the soft glow emitting from the solitary apartment on the 3rd floor. The resident, a young woman named Tara, felt a rumble in her stomach that echoed the thunderous growls of the storm brewing outside. She decided to place an order from her favorite local pizzeria. The wait was agonizing. Each tick of the clock seemed to echo through the silent apartment, amplifying her anticipation. Finally, the intercom buzzed, breaking the silence. The delivery was here. She pressed the button to allow the delivery person access to the building, but instead of the usual friendly greeting, there was only silence. A chill ran down her spine, but she dismissed it as just nerves from the stormy night. Tara opened the door to find a tall, lanky man, his face obscured by the shadow of his cap. His eyes, however, glowed eerily in the dimly lit hallway. He handed over the pizza box without a word, his cold gaze never leaving hers. She thanked him, albeit nervously, and quickly shut the door. She placed the box on the kitchen counter, her appetite somewhat diminished by the unsettling encounter. As she opened the box, she found it empty. Her heart pounded in her chest, her mind raced with confusion and fear. She had just seen the delivery guy hand her the box, and yet it was empty. Suddenly, her apartment felt too quiet, too isolated. She quickly locked her doors and windows, the echo of the deadbolt sliding into place, providing a small comfort. She tried to call the pizzeria, but the line was dead. The rest of the night was spent in a state of heightened fear. Every creak of the old building, every howl of the wind outside sent her heart racing. The next morning, she found the pizzeria had closed down months ago. The reality of the situation hit her hard. The late-night food order had turned into a horrifying experience. Tara never found out who the delivery man was or why he had delivered an empty pizza box. The mystery remained unsolved, the fear forever etched in her memory. And the question remains, was it a cruel prank or something more sinister? Remember to hit that like button if you're eager to hear more such spine-chilling stories. There's a knock at the door. You didn't order anything, yet there stands a delivery person holding a package with your name on it. The mystery begins to unravel as the protagonist, a young woman living alone in a city apartment, finds herself in a puzzling situation. In the dimly lit hallway, the delivery person, a man with an unsettling grin, insists that the food package is indeed for her. He hands over the food and leaves abruptly, his laughter echoing in the eerie silence of the night. The protagonist is left with a sense of unease, a cold shiver running down her spine as she locks her door. With a curious mind and a growling stomach, she decides to inspect the unexpected delivery. The box is ordinary, the food smells appetizing, but something is off. She can't shrug off the feeling of unease. As she opens the box, she finds a note that reads, "Enjoy your meal, it's on the house." This random act of kindness, instead of bringing a smile to her face, only adds to her growing dread. As the night progresses, strange things begin to happen. The lights flicker, the television switches on and off randomly, and she hears faint whispers in the dead of the night. She brushes it off as her mind playing tricks on her, but the feeling of being watched is undeniable. The next morning, she wakes up to find her apartment door ajar. Nothing is missing, nothing is out of place. But she knows, she can feel it, someone has been in her apartment. She calls the police, but without any evidence, they can't do much except advise her to be cautious. Days turn into weeks, and the unsettling incidents continue. The protagonist finds herself trapped in a web of paranoia and terror. Her once safe haven has turned into a nightmare, all because of an unexpected food delivery. She decides to take matters into her own hands and starts investigating the mysterious delivery. Her quest leads her to the restaurant from where the food was delivered. She confronts the manager, who seems genuinely surprised and denies any knowledge of the free delivery. He shows her the records, and there is no order in her name. The plot thickens, and she's left with more questions than answers. Finally, she decides to install security cameras in her apartment. The footage reveals the unsettling truth. The delivery person from that fateful night has been stalking her, invading her privacy, turning her life into a living nightmare. She hands over the evidence to the police, and the stalker is finally caught. How would you react if you found yourself in a similar situation? The protagonist's ordeal serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the most ordinary things can turn into the most horrifying experiences. It's a tale of courage, of standing up against your fears, and most importantly, a tale of survival. You're a delivery person, out on a regular night shift. You reach an address, only to find an abandoned house. The order was for that address, but who placed it? Imagine this. You're a food delivery person. You're used to the late night hustle, the quiet streets, the occasional barking dog. But this delivery? This one is different. You pull up to the location, a house nestled at the end of a dimly lit street. The moon is the only source of light, casting long, eerie shadows on the decrepit walls of the house. The house seems abandoned, windows boarded up, paint peeling off, and an overgrown yard. A chill runs down your spine as you approach the front door, the order in hand. You knock, waiting for someone to answer, but all you hear is the echo of your own heartbeat in the silence of the night. You try to shake off the fear, telling yourself it's probably just some kids playing a prank. But then you feel a cold gust of wind, and the front door creaks open on its own. You step inside, calling out to anyone who might be there, but there's no response. The house is silent, save for the soft, eerie whispers of the wind. You venture further into the house, the floorboards groaning under your weight. You see a flickering light from a room at the end of the hallway. As you approach, you hear a soft humming, like a lullaby. The room is empty, save for a dusty old rocking chair moving back and forth on its own, the source of the humming sound. Your heart pounds in your chest as you quickly leave the room, making your way back to the entrance. You're ready to leave, but then you see it. On the floor, near the front door, is a note. It reads, "Thank you for the delivery. The food was delicious." A chill runs down your spine as you realize that the house isn't as abandoned as it seemed. A sudden crash from upstairs jolts you out of your thoughts. You drop the note and bolt out of the house, back to your car. As you drive away, you glance back at the house in your rear-view mirror, a sense of unease lingering. And that's the end of your shift. You return to the depot, but the memory of the haunted house stays with you. You can't shake off the feeling of being watched, the soft humming echoing in your ears, the note left by an unseen customer. You realize that delivering food isn't just about navigating the streets and braving the late-night chill. Sometimes it's about braving the unknown, the unexplained, the eerie. It's not always the customer who experiences horror. Sometimes the delivery person has their share of fear too. A regular evening, a routine delivery. But this one ends up being the last delivery for the night, and perhaps forever. Imagine this, you're a food delivery person. It's an ordinary day, just like any other, a day filled with traffic jams, bustling streets, and the aroma of various cuisines wafting from your delivery bag. You're on your last delivery, eager to call it a day. The address leads you to a quiet, dimly lit neighborhood, the kind of place where you can hear the crickets chirp and see the stars twinkling overhead. You navigate through the labyrinth of narrow alleys until you finally reach the designated house. It's an old, dilapidated building, standing eerily silent amidst the darkness. You knock on the door, expecting a quick exchange and a swift goodbye. But there's no answer. You knock again, a bit harder this time. Still, nothing. You're about to give up and leave when you hear a faint voice from inside beckoning you to come in. Against your better judgment, you push the creaking door open and step inside. The house is as quiet as a graveyard, with an unsettling chill in the air. You call out, announcing your presence, but all you get in return is the echo of your own voice. You venture further in, your heart pounding in your chest. Suddenly, you feel a cold hand on your shoulder. You turn around and then silence. The next morning, the local news reports an abandoned delivery bike found outside an old deserted house. The delivery person is nowhere to be found. The story spreads like wildfire, adding another chilling tale to the lore of the neighborhood. The delivery person was never seen or heard from again. This is a chilling reminder that even the most mundane tasks can take a dark turn. That beneath the veil of normalcy, there are stories that can make your blood run cold. Stories that remind us that the world is filled with unexplained mysteries and unsolved enigmas. Sometimes, the most ordinary things can turn into your worst nightmares. These stories might give you a second thought before you place your next food order. We've journeyed through the eerie night, from the late order that turned into a nightmare to the unexpected guest who was far from welcome. We visited the wrong address, a place no one would willingly go, and made that final delivery, a trip that will haunt the bravest of us. It's chilling to realize that fear can seep into such mundane activities as ordering food. It's a stark reminder that horror doesn't always reside in the shadows. It can be lurking just around the corner, hiding in the most unexpected places. Perhaps you've had similar experiences or thoughts while waiting for your food delivery in the dead of night. We encourage you to share them in the comments. It's through these shared experiences that we can all feel a little less alone in the dark. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown and wish for more, hit the subscribe button and bell icon for notifications. Stay safe and remember, horror lurks in the most unexpected corners.